What if I told you that the man who threw an 18-year-old girl onto the street with nothing but a backpack and $50 would 20 years later sit across from that same woman as she delivered the words, "You're terminated," effective immediately? This is the story of Victoria Martinez, and by the end of this series you will understand why sometimes the cruelest rejection becomes the catalyst for the most extraordinary transformation. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning from. And if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow I've saved something extra special for you. My name is Victoria Martinez, and at 38 years old, I serve as Regional Operations Director for Consolidated Freight Solutions, overseeing a territory that spans 4 states and generates over $200 million in annual revenue. I manage 18 distribution centers, supervise more than 3,000 employees, and make decisions that affect supply chains for major retailers across the Southwest. But 20 years ago, I was just another scared teenager standing on a doorstep with everything I owned crammed into a worn backpack, listening to my stepfather explain why I no longer had a place in the only home I had ever known. The morning that changed everything started like any other Tuesday in Phoenix, Arizona. I was finishing my senior year at Desert Ridge High School, maintaining a 3.8 grade point average while working 20 hours per week at a local grocery store to help with household expenses. My plans for the future were modest but clear. I had been accepted to Arizona State University with a partial scholarship, intending to study business administration while living at home to minimize costs. I had calculated every detail, saved every dollar, and carefully structured my life around the assumption that I would have my family's support during this crucial transition period. That assumption proved catastrophically wrong. My stepfather, Robert Hernandez, had married my mother Elena when I was 12 years old, 6 years after my biological father died in a construction accident. Robert worked as a shift supervisor at Phoenix Metro Logistics, a regional trucking company that handled freight distribution throughout Arizona and New Mexico. His position provided steady income and health insurance, which my mother desperately needed as a single parent working multiple part-time jobs to support us. The marriage initially seemed like a practical solution that benefited everyone involved. Robert gained a ready-made family, my mother achieved financial stability, and I acquired a father figure who could provide guidance during my formative teenage years. For the first few years, this arrangement functioned reasonably well, despite the obvious challenges of blending families and adjusting to new household dynamics. However, the relationship between Robert and me had deteriorated significantly during my final 2 years of high school. The tension originated from fundamental differences in our perspectives about education, career planning, and personal responsibility. Robert believed that working-class families should focus on immediate employment opportunities, rather than pursuing expensive college educations that might not guarantee better outcomes. He frequently expressed skepticism about my academic achievements and questioned whether investing time and money in higher education represented sound decision-making for someone from our economic background. These philosophical differences created increasingly frequent conflicts about my priorities and future plans. Robert viewed my dedication to studying and college preparation as evidence that I considered myself superior to the family's working-class values. He interpreted my academic success as implicit criticism of his own educational limitations and career choices. My mother, caught between her husband and daughter, attempted to mediate these conflicts but struggled to balance competing loyalties and perspectives. The situation reached a breaking point during the spring semester of my senior year, when I received notification that I had been selected for a competitive internship program with a local business development organization. The internship would provide valuable experience and networking opportunities while offering a modest stipend that could help offset college expenses. However, the program required a 40-hour weekly commitment during the summer months, which would conflict with the full-time warehouse position that Robert had arranged for me at Phoenix Metro Logistics. Robert viewed my preference for the internship over his job offer as a personal insult and definitive proof that I had rejected the family's values in favor of pursuing ambitions that would ultimately separate me from my roots. During the heated argument that followed my decision to accept the internship, Robert delivered an ultimatum that I never anticipated. Either abandon my college plans and commit to building a career in logistics, or find somewhere else to live after graduation. I initially assumed that Robert was making an empty threat designed to pressure me into compliance with his preferences. My mother had never suggested that my housing situation was conditional upon specific career choices, and I believed that family relationships ultimately transcended such disagreement. I continued with my internship and college preparation, expecting that time would resolve the conflict and restore equilibrium to our household dynamics. That expectation proved entirely incorrect. On the Tuesday morning that destroyed my assumptions about family loyalty and unconditional support, I returned home from my overnight shift at the grocery store to find my belongings packed into boxes and stacked near the front door. Robert was waiting in the living room with my mother, who appeared to have been crying but remained silent throughout the conversation that followed. "Victoria, your mother and I have discussed this situation extensively, and we have reached a decision about your future living arrangements," Robert announced with the formal tone he typically used when asserting his authority as head of household. "You have made it clear that you do not value the opportunities and guidance that this family has provided. You have chosen to pursue goals that separate you from our values and priority. Therefore, we believe it would be best for everyone if you established independence and learned to support yourself without relying on our assistance." I stared at Robert in disbelief, struggling to process the implications of his statement. "Are you telling me that I need to move out because I want to go to college and pursue a career in business rather than accepting a warehouse job? I am telling you that adult decisions require adult responsibilities," Robert replied. "If you want to make choices that prioritize your individual ambitions over family obligations, then you need to accept the consequences of those choices. This household cannot continue supporting someone who rejects our values and considers our lifestyle insufficient for her aspirations." I turned to my mother, hoping for some indication that she disagreed with Robert's decision or would intervene on my behalf. Instead, she avoided eye contact and remained silent, effectively confirming her complicity in this devastating rejection. "Mom, please tell me that you do not agree with this decision," I pleaded. "Tell me that you understand why I want to pursue higher education and build a career that can provide better opportunities than what you and Robert have experienced." My mother finally spoke, but her words offered no comfort or support. "Victoria, Robert and I have tried to provide guidance and stability for you throughout your teenage years. We have made significant sacrifices to ensure that you had a stable home environment and educational opportunity. However, we cannot continue supporting decisions that demonstrate a lack of appreciation for these sacrifices and a rejection of the values that have sustained this family." The betrayal I felt in that moment was unlike anything I had experienced before or since. The two people who were supposed to provide unconditional love and support had chosen to abandon me during the most critical transition period of my life, simply because my aspirations exceeded their comfort zone and challenged their assumptions about appropriate goals for someone from our economic background. Robert handed me an envelope containing $300 and the keys to my mother's old Honda Civic, which they were allowing me to use temporarily until I could arrange alternative transportation. "You have until this evening to collect your belongings and make arrangements for housing," he informed me. "We have already called the school to inform them that you will be providing your own address for all future communication." I spent the remainder of that morning loading my possessions into the aging Honda and calling friends whose families might be willing to provide temporary housing while I figured out how to survive as an independent 18-year-old with limited resources and no family support. The magnitude of my situation became clear as I realized that most of my friends' families lacked the space or financial capacity to accommodate an additional household member for any extended period. My best friend Sarah Connor, whose family lived in a small apartment in a working-class neighborhood similar to ours, offered me space on their couch for a few weeks while I sought more permanent arrangements. Sarah's mother, Maria, a single parent who worked as a hospital custodian, understood the challenges of family conflict and economic insecurity from personal experience. Despite her own financial constraints, she welcomed me into their home with genuine warmth and encouraged me to view this crisis as an opportunity to develop independence and resilience. "Victoria, I know this feels like the end of the world right now," Maria said as she helped me carry my belongings into their apartment. "But sometimes the people who push us out of comfortable situations are actually forcing us to discover strength and capabilities that we never would have developed otherwise. Your stepfather might think he is punishing you for having ambitions, but he might actually be giving you the motivation to achieve more than you ever imagined possible. Maria's perspective provided some comfort during those initial days of displacement and uncertainty, but the emotional impact of my family's rejection remained overwhelming. I had lost not only my housing and financial support, but also my sense of belonging and security. The people who were supposed to believe in my potential had instead chosen to punish me for pursuing goals that exceeded their expectations and challenged their assumptions about appropriate aspirations for someone from our background. However, even in the midst of this devastating betrayal, I began to recognize that Robert's decision had inadvertently provided me with something valuable: complete freedom to pursue my goals without compromise or constraint. I no longer needed to consider his opinions, accommodate his preferences, or justify my choices to someone who fundamentally opposed my aspirations. The rejection that felt so cruel and unjust had actually liberated me from limitations that would have continued restricting my potential indefinitely. As I lay on Sarah's couch that first night, staring at the ceiling and trying to process the magnitude of the change in my circumstances, I made a promise to myself that would guide every decision I made over the following 20 years. I promised that I would not merely survive this rejection and abandonment, but would transform it into the foundation for achievements that would demonstrate the catastrophic error in judgment that Robert had made when he chose to bet against my potential. I promised myself that Robert Hernandez would eventually understand exactly how much he had underestimated the young woman he had thrown away, and that understanding would come when he found himself in a position where his livelihood depended upon the approval of the person he had deemed unworthy of his support. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now back to the story. That promise sustained me through the immediate crisis of finding housing, maintaining my academic performance, and securing the financial resources necessary to continue pursuing my education and career goals. More importantly, it provided the motivation that would drive me to exceed every expectation and overcome every obstacle over the subsequent 2 decades. The day my world collapsed became the day my real education began. I was about to learn lessons about resilience, determination, and the power of proving wrong those who underestimate your potential. These lessons would prove far more valuable than anything Robert Hernandez could have taught me about accepting limitations and lowering expectations. My transformation from rejected teenager to successful business executive was about to begin, and every challenge I would face along the way would serve as preparation for the day when I would sit across from Robert in a conference room and deliver the words he never imagined he would hear from the young woman he had discarded 20 years earlier. The greatest revenge I would discover is not anger or bitterness, but the quiet satisfaction of surpassing every expectation held by those who chose to bet against your success. Robert had made the worst investment decision of his career when he decided that I represented a liability rather than an asset. He would spend the next 20 years discovering the true cost of that decision. The first 3 weeks of independence taught Victoria Martinez lessons about resilience that no classroom could have provided. Living on Sarah Connor's couch while navigating the final months of high school required careful coordination of schedules, strategic planning of basic necessities, and constant adaptation to circumstances beyond her control. The Honda Civic that Robert had grudgingly allowed her to use temporarily became her mobile headquarters, storage unit, and occasional refuge when the small apartment felt too crowded for privacy or study time. Victoria's most immediate challenge involved maintaining her academic performance while addressing the practical requirements of independent survival. Her scholarship to Arizona State University depended upon graduating with a grade point average above 3, which meant that her current 8 average provided little margin for error during this period of upheaval and uncertainty. The business internship that had triggered her expulsion from home required 40 hours of weekly commitment, beginning immediately after graduation, creating additional pressure to secure permanent housing and reliable transportation before the program commenced. The internship with Phoenix Business Development Initiative represented a crucial opportunity that Victoria recognized could provide the foundation for her long-term career advancement. The program paired high-achieving students with established professionals in various industries, offering mentorship, practical experience and networking opportunities that typically remained inaccessible to individuals from working-class backgrounds. Victoria had competed against hundreds of applicants for one of 12 available positions, and her selection reflected both her academic achievements and her demonstrated commitment to pursuing business leadership roles. However, the internship also created immediate financial pressure that Victoria had not fully anticipated when she accepted the position. The modest stipend provided by the program would cover basic living expenses, but left no resources for housing deposits, transportation maintenance, or unexpected emergency. Victoria needed to identify creative solutions that would allow her to participate in the internship while simultaneously building the financial foundation necessary for college enrollment in the fall semester. Victoria's first strategic decision involved maximizing the income potential of her existing employment at Desert Foods Market, where she had worked part-time throughout her junior and senior year. She approached store manager Linda Rodriguez to discuss expanding her schedule and taking on additional responsibilities that could increase her hourly compensation. Linda, who had observed Victoria's reliability and work ethic over the previous 18 months, offered her a temporary promotion to assistant night supervisor position that included a $2 hourly raise and guaranteed 40 hours per week during the summer months. The assistant supervisor role required Victoria to arrive at Desert Foods Market at 11 o'clock each evening and work until 7 o'clock the following morning, managing inventory restocking, coordinating overnight cleaning crewing, and handling any customer service issues that arose during the store's 24-hour operation. The schedule was physically demanding and socially isolating, but it provided the financial stability Victoria needed while allowing her to participate in the business internship during regular daytime hours. This dual commitment meant that Victoria would be working approximately 80 hours per week throughout the summer with minimal time for rest, social activities, or personal maintenance. The schedule would test her physical endurance, mental resilience, and organizational capabilities in ways that would prove invaluable for her future professional development. More importantly, it would demonstrate to herself and others that she possessed the determination and capability necessary to overcome seemingly insurmountable obstacles through sheer effort and strategic thinking. Victoria's housing situation required equally creative problem solving. While Sarah's family had graciously provided temporary accommodation, the small apartment could not sustain an additional resident indefinitely without creating financial and logistical stress for everyone involved. Victoria needed to identify affordable housing options that would allow her to maintain independence while remaining within reasonable commuting distance of both her internship and evening employment. After researching various possibilities, Victoria discovered that several local churches offered transitional housing programs for young adults facing temporary displacement due to family conflicts or economic hardship. Trinity Community Church operated a supervised residence program that provided furnished rooms in a converted office building, along with shared kitchen facilities and study areas, for a monthly fee that Victoria could manage with her projected income from the grocery store position. The church residence program required participants to attend weekly counseling sessions, contribute 4 hours of community service each week, and maintain employment or educational enrollment throughout their stay. These requirements aligned perfectly with Victoria's existing commitments and provided additional structure that would support her academic and professional development. The program also connected residents with mentorship opportunities and financial literacy resources that could prove valuable for someone navigating independence for the first time. Victoria's application for the Trinity Community Church program required several character references, a detailed budget proposal, and a written statement explaining her circumstances and future goals. The process felt somewhat humiliating given her recent family rejection, but it also provided an opportunity to articulate her vision for the future and demonstrate her commitment to achieving specific objectives despite current challenges. In her written statement, Victoria explained how her pursuit of higher education and business career opportunities had created conflict with family members who viewed these goals as evidence of ingratitude and social climate. She described her determination to prove that individuals from working-class backgrounds could achieve professional success through education, hard work, and strategic planning, while maintaining respect for their origins and commitment to helping others from similar circumstances. The program coordinator, Margaret Williams, reviewed Victoria's application with particular attention to her academic achievements and clear articulation of future goals. During their interview, Margaret expressed admiration for Victoria's resilience and strategic thinking, while offering practical advice about managing the demanding schedule she had planned for the summer months. "Victoria, I can see that you have developed a comprehensive plan for addressing your immediate challenges while positioning yourself for long-term success," Margaret observed. "However, I want to ensure that you understand the physical and emotional demands of the schedule you have outlined. Working 80 hours per week while transitioning to independent living represents a significant undertaking that will test your limits in ways you may not have anticipated." Victoria appreciated Margaret's concern but felt confident that her motivation and organizational skills would enable her to manage these competing demands successfully. "Miss Williams, I understand that this schedule will be challenging, but I also recognize that this period represents a crucial foundation-building phase for my future. The habits, skills, and financial resources I develop over the next few months will determine whether I can successfully transition to college and begin building the career I envision for myself." Margaret approved Victoria's application for the church residence program, with the stipulation that she would participate in monthly check-in meetings to assess her progress and address any challenges that arose during her stay. The program would provide Victoria with stable housing through the end of August, allowing her to complete her internship and accumulate savings for college-related expenses. Victoria's final weeks at Desert Ridge High School created additional emotional challenges, as she observed her classmates making graduation plans that included family celebrations, summer vacations, and transitional support from parents who would help them navigate the adjustment to college life. Victoria attended graduation ceremonies alone, watching from the audience as her former classmates celebrated with extended families who had gathered to commemorate this important milestone. The absence of family support during this traditionally celebratory period reinforced the magnitude of Victoria's isolation while simultaneously strengthening her resolve to create a different outcome for her future. She used the graduation ceremony as an opportunity to visualize the day when she would complete her college education, achieve professional success, and demonstrate the value of the potential that Robert and her mother had chosen to discard. During the graduation reception, Victoria's guidance counselor Patricia Evans approached her to offer congratulations and express concern about her transition plans. Miss Evans had observed Victoria's academic performance throughout high school and understood the unusual challenges she had faced during her final semester. "Victoria, I want you to know that your achievements over the past 4 years represent some of the most impressive academic progress I have witnessed during my career, Mrs. Evans. Your ability to maintain excellent grades while working and managing family difficulties demonstrates character and capability that will serve you well in college and beyond. I hope you understand that the current conflicts with your family do not reflect any deficiency in your potential or value as a person." Mrs. Evans' recognition provided emotional validation that Victoria desperately needed during this period of uncertainty and self-doubt. The conversation reminded her that objective observers recognized her capabilities and potential, even when family members had chosen to focus on perceived deficiencies or threats to their own comfort and authority. Victoria began her internship with Phoenix Business Development Initiative on the Monday following graduation, reporting to downtown offices where she would spend the next 12 weeks, learning about business operations, strategic planning, and professional development. The program assigned her to work with mentor Rebecca Thompson, a senior operations manager with Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, who had volunteered to guide promising students through real-world business experience. Rebecca's approach to mentorship emphasized practical learning through direct involvement in actual business challenges, rather than theoretical discussions about general principles. She assigned Victoria to participate in operational efficiency assessments, client relationship development projects, and strategic planning initiatives that provided exposure to the decision-making processes and analytical methods used by successful business professionals. Victoria's first significant project involved analyzing warehouse operations for a mid-sized retailer that was experiencing inventory management difficulties and customer service complaints related to order fulfillment delay. The assignment required Victoria to spend several days observing warehouse workflows, interviewing employees about operational challenges, and identifying potential improvements that could enhance efficiency while reducing costs. The warehouse assessment project proved particularly meaningful for Victoria given Robert's employment in logistics and his dismissive attitude toward her business education goals, as she documented inefficiencies and developed recommendations for operational improvement. Victoria recognized that her analytical training and fresh perspective enabled her to identify problems and solutions that experienced warehouse workers might overlook due to familiarity with existing procedure. Victoria's analysis revealed that the retailer's warehouse was operating at approximately 60% of its potential efficiency due to outdated inventory management systems, suboptimal layout design, and insufficient coordination between receiving and shipping departments. Her recommendations included technology upgrades, workflow reorganization, and staff training programs that could increase throughput by approximately 40% while reducing error rates and customer complaints. Rebecca Thompson reviewed Victoria's analysis with considerable impressed by the thoroughness of her research and the practical applicability of her recommendation. Victoria, this assessment demonstrates analytical thinking and business acumen that many professionals with years of experience have not developed, Rebecca observed. Your ability to identify systemic problems and propose comprehensive solutions reflects exactly the kind of strategic thinking that successful business leaders utilize to create competitive advantages. Rebecca's positive feedback reinforced Victoria's confidence in her chosen career path while validating her belief that business education could provide tools for creating meaningful improvements in organizational performance. The successful completion of her first major project also demonstrated that her academic preparation had provided practical skills that could generate value for real business operations. Victoria, this assessment demonstrates analytical thinking and business acumen that many professionals with years of experience have not developed. The assistant night supervisor role required her to coordinate multiple operational functions simultaneously while solving problems that arose during overnight shifts when senior management was unavailable for consultation. The position taught Victoria lessons about leadership, crisis management, and employee motivation that business textbooks could not adequately convey. She learned to manage teams of workers with diverse backgrounds and varying levels of commitment, to handle customer complaints and vendor issues with diplomacy and efficiency, and to maintain operational standards under pressure while meeting demanding productivity targets. Victoria's dual professional experiences during the summer following high school graduation provided her with a comprehensive foundation of practical business knowledge that would prove invaluable throughout her college education and subsequent career development. More importantly, the demanding schedule and challenging circumstances taught her that she possessed resilience, adaptability, and leadership capabilities that exceeded her own expectations. By the end of August, Victoria had accumulated sufficient savings to cover her first semester college expenses while demonstrating to herself and others that she could thrive independently despite the absence of family support. The rejection that had seemed so devastating in May had become the catalyst for personal and professional development that might not have occurred under more comfortable circumstances. Victoria was prepared to begin the next phase of her journey at Arizona State University, armed with practical experience, proven capabilities, and unwavering determination to achieve the success that would ultimately vindicate her decision to pursue ambitious goals despite family opposition. The foundation she had built during these crucial months would support every achievement that followed over the subsequent 20 years. Victoria Martinez entered Arizona State University's business program in September with a determination forged through months of independent survival and professional development that distinguished her from traditional students who transitioned directly from family support to college life. Her summer experience managing dual professional responsibilities while navigating housing instability had equipped her with practical skills and emotional resilience that would prove essential for maximizing her educational opportunities despite continued financial constraints. The transition to university life presented new challenges that required Victoria to adapt her proven strategies for managing competing priorities and limited resources. Her financial aid package covered tuition and provided a modest living allowance, but the amount remained insufficient for comfortable student life in university housing. Victoria needed to identify creative approaches that would allow her to focus on academic excellence while maintaining the financial stability she had worked so hard to establish during her initial months of independence. Victoria's solution involved securing employment with the university's business development office, which provided work-study opportunities for students interested in gaining practical experience while contributing to institutional operations. The position offered flexible scheduling that accommodated her class requirements, along with exposure to university administration and business partnerships that could enhance her professional network and career prospects. The business development office role required Victoria to assist with research projects, coordinate industry partnerships, and support faculty initiatives related to curriculum development and student placement programs. The work provided direct insight into how educational institutions operated as business enterprises, while connecting her with professionals from various industries who served as guest lecturers, advisory board members, and recruiting partners. Victoria's supervisor in the business development office, Dr. Amanda Richardson, quickly recognized her exceptional analytical capabilities and professional maturity. Richardson assigned Victoria to increasingly complex projects that required independent research, strategic thinking, and professional communication skills typically expected from graduate students rather than undergraduate. One of Victoria's early assignments involved analyzing employment outcomes for recent business graduates, identifying patterns in career progression, and developing recommendations for curriculum modifications that could better prepare students for contemporary business challenges. The project required Victoria to conduct extensive research, interview alumni, and synthesize findings into comprehensive reports that would influence departmental planning and resource allocation decisions. Victoria's analysis revealed significant gaps between academic training and industry requirements, particularly in areas related to operational management, supply chain optimization, and cross-functional leadership. Her recommendations emphasized the importance of experiential learning opportunities, industry partnerships, and practical problem-solving exercises that could bridge the theoretical application divide that limited graduate success in competitive business environments. Dr. Richardson presented Victoria's findings to the university's Business Advisory Board, which included executives from major corporations throughout the Southwest region. The presentation generated considerable discussion about curriculum reform and led to the establishment of new internship programs and industry collaboration initiatives that directly reflected Victoria's research and recommendations. The successful completion of this high-visibility project established Victoria's reputation within the business program as a student capable of producing graduate-level work while demonstrating strategic thinking and professional communication skills that exceeded typical undergraduate capability. Faculty members began involving her in additional research projects and inviting her to participate in professional conferences and industry events, typically reserved for advanced students. Victoria's academic performance during her freshman year reflected both her natural intellectual capabilities and her disciplined approach to maximizing learning opportunities. She completed her first semester with a perfect grade point average, while simultaneously managing her work-study responsibilities and maintaining her evening employment at Desert Foods Market on weekends to supplement her income. The demanding schedule required careful time management and strategic prioritization that pushed Victoria's organizational skills to their limit. She developed systematic approaches to course preparation, assignment completion, and exam studying that maximized efficiency while ensuring thorough mastery of material across all subject areas. Victoria's professors consistently noted her exceptional preparation, thoughtful class participation, and sophisticated understanding of complex business concepts. Her contributions to class discussions often incorporated real-world examples from her summer internship and work experiences, providing practical context that enhanced learning for other students, while demonstrating her ability to bridge theoretical knowledge with operational reality. During her second semester, Victoria enrolled in Advanced Operations Management, a course typically restricted to junior and senior students due to its complexity and prerequisite requirement. Professor Michael Torres granted Victoria special permission to enroll based on her exceptional performance in introductory courses and her demonstrated practical experience in business operation. The Advanced Operations Management course focused on supply chain optimization, efficiency analysis, and strategic resource allocation within complex organizational structure. The curriculum emphasized mathematical modeling, statistical analysis, and systems thinking approaches that challenged students to develop comprehensive solutions for multifaceted business problems. Victoria's final project for the course involved designing an optimization strategy for a regional logistics company experiencing declining profitability and market share. The assignment required students to analyze operational inefficiencies, identify improvement opportunities, and develop implementation strategies that could restore competitive performance while maintaining operational reliability. Victoria chose to focus her analysis on Phoenix Metro Logistics, the company where Robert Hernandez worked as a shift supervisor. Her decision to analyze Robert's employer was motivated partly by personal interest in understanding the industry dynamics that shaped his perspective on career opportunity, but primarily by her recognition that she possessed insider knowledge about the company's operational challenges through informal conversations she had overheard during her years living in Robert's household. Victoria's research revealed that Phoenix Metro Logistics was struggling with multiple systemic problems that collectively undermined its competitive position within the regional freight industry. The company's operational efficiency had declined significantly over the previous 5 years due to outdated technology systems, inadequate workforce training, and management practices that prioritized short-term cost reduction over long-term strategic development. Her analysis identified specific areas where targeted improvements could generate substantial cost savings and service quality enhancement. These included modernizing dispatch and tracking systems, implementing cross-training programs for operational staff, and reorganizing facility layouts to optimize workflow efficiency. Victoria calculated that her recommended improvements could increase operational capacity by approximately 30%, while reducing labor costs and improving customer satisfaction metrics. Professor Torres reviewed Victoria's analysis with considerable interest, particularly given the thoroughness of her research and the sophistication of her financial projection. The quality of her work exceeded expectations for undergraduate coursework and demonstrated analytical capabilities typically associated with professional consulting engagement. Victoria, this analysis represents some of the most comprehensive operational assessment work I have reviewed from any student at any level, Professor Torres observed. Your recommendations are well researched, financially viable, and strategically sound. Have you considered submitting this analysis to Phoenix Metro Logistics for their consideration? Victoria had not previously considered the possibility of presenting her academic work to an actual business organization, but Professor Torres's suggestion opened intriguing possibilities for demonstrating the practical value of her education while potentially creating professional opportunity. However, the prospect of approaching Robert's employer also presented personal complications that required careful consideration. After extensive reflection, Victoria decided to pursue Professor Torres's suggestion while maintaining careful boundaries around her personal connection to the company. She prepared a professional presentation of her findings and requested a meeting with Phoenix Metro Logistics Management to discuss potential consulting opportunities. The company's operations manager, Jennifer Walsh, agreed to meet with Victoria after reviewing her analytical summary and academic credentials. The meeting provided Victoria with her first opportunity to present strategic recommendations to senior business executives, testing her professional communication skills and confidence in a high-stakes environment. Victoria's presentation impressed Jennifer Walsh and other company executives with its depth of analysis, practical applicability, and clear financial justification for proposed improvement. The executives asked detailed questions about implementation timelines, resource requirements, and expected returns on investment, all of which Victoria addressed with confidence and precision. Following the presentation, Jennifer Walsh offered Victoria a paid consulting contract to develop detailed implementation plans for selected recommendations, with the possibility of summer employment, to assist with project execution. The opportunity represented a significant validation of Victoria's analytical capabilities while providing valuable professional experience and financial compensation. Victoria accepted the consulting contract with enthusiasm, recognizing the opportunity to gain real-world implementation experience while building her professional portfolio and financial resource. The project would require her to work directly with Phoenix Metro Logistics operational staff, including shift supervisors like Robert, though she maintained confidentiality about her personal connection to the company. The consulting engagement provided Victoria with unprecedented insight into organizational dynamics, change management challenges, and the practical complexities of implementing theoretical improvements within established business operations. She learned valuable lessons about employee resistance to change, resource constraints that limited implementation options, and the importance of stakeholder communication in successful project execution. Victoria's work at Phoenix Metro Logistics also provided indirect exposure to Robert's professional performance and standing within the organization. Through her interactions with various staff members, she observed that Robert was regarded as a competent but unexceptional supervisor who performed his duties adequately without demonstrating particular innovation or leadership capability. This observation reinforced Victoria's understanding that Robert's dismissive attitude toward her educational and career aspirations reflected limited perspective, rather than accurate assessment of opportunities available to motivated individuals willing to invest in their professional development. Robert's comfortable but unremarkable position within a struggling company contrasted sharply with the dynamic business environment that Victoria was experiencing through her academic and consulting work. As Victoria completed her freshman year at Arizona State University, she had achieved academic excellence while building practical experience and professional connections that positioned her for accelerated career advancement. Her grade point average remained perfect. Her consulting work had generated recognition within the regional business community, and her financial situation had stabilized sufficiently to support continued education without requiring external family assistance. More importantly, Victoria had proven to herself that her decision to pursue higher education and ambitious career goals represented sound strategic thinking rather than unrealistic expectations. Her success during the first year of college validated her belief that individuals from working-class backgrounds could achieve professional distinction through education, hard work, and strategic planning. Despite skepticism or opposition from family members who lacked vision or confidence in unconventional approaches to career development, Victoria's transformation from rejected teenager to accomplished student and emerging business professional demonstrated that initial circumstances need not determine final outcomes for individuals willing to invest in their own development and persist through challenges that would discourage less committed people. The foundation she was building would support increasingly significant achievements throughout her remaining college years and subsequent professional career. Robert Hernandez remained unaware that the young woman he had dismissed as ungrateful and overambitious was already operating at professional levels that exceeded his own capabilities and creating value for his employer that he could never provide. Victoria's patient development of expertise and credentials was preparing for the eventual confrontation that would demonstrate the catastrophic nature of his earlier judgment about her potential and character. Victoria Martinez entered her sophomore year at Arizona State University with enhanced confidence and expanded professional connections that distinguished her from peers who were still adjusting to college life and exploring potential career direction. Her successful consulting engagement with Phoenix Metro Logistics had generated recognition within the regional business community, while providing practical experience that complemented her academic foundation in sophisticated ways that accelerated her professional development. The consulting project had concluded with Phoenix Metro Logistics implementing several of Victoria's operational recommendations, resulting in measurable improvements in efficiency and cost reduction that validated her analytical capabilities while establishing her reputation as a student capable of generating tangible business value. The company's operations manager, Jennifer Walsh, had shared Victoria's success story with industry colleagues, creating opportunities for additional consulting engagements that would enhance her practical experience while providing financial resources for continued education. Victoria's academic advisor, Dr. Amanda Richardson, recognized the exceptional nature of her students' achievements, and recommended Victoria for the university's Accelerated Business Leadership Program, which allowed high-performing students to complete advanced coursework while gaining intensive exposure to corporate partnerships and executive mentorship opportunities. The program represented a significant honor that was typically reserved for students who had demonstrated sustained excellence throughout their undergraduate. The Accelerated Leadership Program required Victoria to maintain her perfect academic performance while participating in executive seminars, industry conferences, and strategic planning sessions with major corporations throughout the Southwest region. The additional commitments would test her time management capabilities and organizational skills, but they also provided access to learning opportunities and professional networks that could dramatically enhance her career prospects upon graduation. Victoria's first assignment within the leadership program involved participating in a comprehensive strategic planning initiative for Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, a major logistics company that served retail and manufacturing clients across multiple states. The project required student participants to work alongside senior executives in analyzing market trends, competitive positioning, and operational optimization opportunities that could drive long-term growth and profitability. The strategic planning engagement provided Victoria with unprecedented insight into executive decision-making processes and corporate strategy development. She observed how senior leaders approached complex business challenges, evaluated competing priorities, and developed comprehensive plans that balanced immediate operational requirements with long-term strategic objectives. The experience enhanced her understanding of business leadership while providing practical knowledge about supply chain management that complemented her academic coursework. Victoria's contributions to the strategic planning project impressed Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions executives with their analytical depth and strategic sophistication. Her recommendations regarding operational efficiency improvements and technology integration reflected advanced understanding of industry dynamics and competitive requirements that exceeded expectations for undergraduate participants. The quality of her work generated discussion about potential full-time employment opportunities following her graduation. Robert Castellanos, Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions Regional Operations Director, specifically noted Victoria's exceptional performance during the project's final presentation. He observed that her analysis demonstrated strategic thinking capabilities and practical business acumen that many experienced professionals had not developed, despite years of industry experience. His positive assessment led to an invitation for Victoria to participate in additional corporate initiatives and consideration for an accelerated management training program. The recognition from Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions represented a significant validation of Victoria's chosen career path while providing concrete evidence that her educational investments were generating professional opportunities that justified the financial sacrifices and personal challenges she had endured to pursue higher education. The company's interest in her potential also demonstrated that merit-based advancement remained possible within competitive business environments for individuals willing to develop necessary capabilities and demonstrate consistent excellence. Victoria's academic performance during her sophomore year continued to reflect her disciplined approach to learning and her strategic focus on maximizing educational value from every course and assignment. She enrolled in advanced courses that challenged her analytical capabilities while building practical skills that would enhance her professional effectiveness. Her coursework included international business management, advanced financial analysis, and organizational behavior studies that provided comprehensive preparation for senior leadership responsibility. Professor Sarah Chen, who taught Victoria's advanced financial analysis course, signed a semester-long project that required students to conduct comprehensive financial assessments of publicly traded companies within specified industry sectors. Victoria chose to analyze multiple logistics and supply chain companies, using her growing industry knowledge to evaluate their strategic positioning, operational efficiency, and long-term growth prospects. Victoria's financial analysis project compared Phoenix Metro Logistics with several larger competitors, examining how operational inefficiencies and strategic limitations affected financial performance and market positioning. Her research revealed that Phoenix Metro Logistics was significantly underperforming relative to industry benchmarks in virtually every meaningful metric, including profitability margins, operational efficiency, customer satisfaction, and employee retention rate. The comprehensive nature of Victoria's analysis provided detailed insight into the systemic problems that were undermining Phoenix Metro Logistics' competitive position and long-term viability. Her findings suggested that the company would likely face increasing financial pressure and potential acquisition by more efficient competitors unless management implemented substantial operational improvements and strategic reform. Professor Chen reviewed Victoria's analysis with considerable interest, particularly given the thoroughness of her research methodology and the sophistication of her financial modeling technique. The quality of her work exceeded graduate-level expectations and demonstrated analytical capabilities that would be valuable in professional consulting or corporate finance roles. Victoria's analysis of Phoenix Metro Logistics also provided personal satisfaction, as she documented the objective evidence supporting her earlier assessment that Robert's employer faced significant challenges that limited its growth prospects and employee advancement opportunities. The financial data confirmed that Robert's dismissive attitude toward her educational aspirations reflected limited understanding of industry dynamics and competitive requirements that were reshaping the logistics sector. During her sophomore year, Victoria also accepted a part-time position with Mesa Consulting Group, a regional firm that provided operational improvement services to mid-sized businesses throughout Arizona and New Mexico. The position offered flexible scheduling that accommodated her academic commitments while providing practical experience in project management, client relationship development, and business problem-solving that enhanced her professional capability. Mesa Consulting Group specialized in helping established companies improve operational efficiency, reduce costs, and enhance competitive positioning through systematic analysis and targeted improvement initiatives. The firm's clients included manufacturing companies, retail operations, and service businesses that recognized the need for professional assistance in adapting to changing market conditions and competitive pressure. Victoria's role at Mesa Consulting Group involved supporting senior consultants with research, data analysis, and client presentations, while gradually assuming independent responsibility for specific project components. The position provided exposure to diverse business challenges and industry sectors, while building her expertise in analytical methods and solution development that would prove valuable throughout her career. One of Victoria's significant projects at Mesa Consulting Group involved analyzing operational challenges for a regional retail chain that was experiencing declining profitability and customer satisfaction issues. The client operated 15 stores across Arizona and was considering expansion into adjacent markets, but management wanted to address existing operational problems before pursuing growth opportunities. Victoria's analysis revealed that the retail chain's difficulties stemmed primarily from inadequate inventory management systems, inconsistent staff training procedures, and suboptimal store layout designs that reduced customer satisfaction while increasing operational costs. Her recommendations included technology upgrades, standardized training programs, and facility modifications that could improve both customer experience and operational efficiency. The retail chain's management team implemented Victoria's recommendations across all 15 locations, resulting in measurable improvements in customer satisfaction scores, inventory turnover rates, and profitability margin. The successful implementation validated Victoria's analytical methods while demonstrating her ability to develop practical solutions for complex business challenges. Victoria's success with the retail chain project led to additional consulting assignments that enhanced her reputation within Mesa Consulting Group while building her portfolio of successful client engagement. The firm's partners began involving her in business development activities and client presentations that provided exposure to senior executives and decision-makers from various industries. The consulting experience also taught Victoria valuable lessons about client relationship management, project execution, and the importance of effective communication in translating analytical insights into actionable business improvement.
These skills complemented her academic training while providing practical knowledge that would distinguish her from other recent graduates entering the competitive business job market. Victoria's junior year schedule included advanced courses in strategic management, international business operations, and organizational leadership that prepared her for senior-level business responsibility. Her professors consistently noted her exceptional analytical capabilities and professional maturity, often using her work as examples of excellence for other students in their courses. During the spring semester of her junior year, Victoria was selected for the university's prestigious International Business Exchange program, which provided opportunities for high-achieving students to study overseas while gaining exposure to global business practices and international market dynamics. The program represented significant recognition of her academic achievements, while offering educational experiences that would enhance her qualifications for leadership roles in multinational corporations. Victoria chose to participate in the exchange program at the University of Barcelona's Business School, where she would study European supply chain management practices while conducting research on international logistics optimization strategy. The opportunity would provide valuable cultural exposure and language development, while building expertise in global business operations that would distinguish her from domestic-focused competitors in the job market. The International Business Exchange program required Victoria to maintain her academic excellence while adapting to different educational methodologies and cultural expectations. The challenge of succeeding in an international academic environment while conducting independent research provided additional evidence of her adaptability and intellectual capabilities that would serve her well in global business environment. Victoria's research project in Barcelona focused on comparing European and North American approaches to supply chain optimization, with particular emphasis on technology integration and sustainability practices that were becoming increasingly important in competitive business environments. The research provided comprehensive understanding of international best practices while identifying opportunities for North American companies to improve their operational effectiveness through strategic adoption of European innovation. The international experience enhanced Victoria's perspective on business strategy, while building cultural competency and language skills that would prove valuable in her future career advancement. The research she conducted in Barcelona also provided material for her senior thesis, while establishing her credentials as a student capable of conducting sophisticated international business analysis. As Victoria completed her junior year, she had established herself as one of the most accomplished students in Arizona State University's business program, while building practical experience and professional connections that positioned her for exceptional career opportunities upon graduation. Her academic achievements, consulting successes, and international experience demonstrated capabilities that exceeded typical undergraduate preparation, while validating her strategic approach to educational and professional development. Victoria's transformation from rejected teenager to accomplished business student represented systematic validation of her decision to pursue ambitious educational and career goals, despite family opposition and financial constraints. Her success demonstrated that merit-based advancement remained possible for individuals willing to invest in their development, while maintaining excellence across multiple demanding commitments. Victoria Martinez returned from her international business exchange program in Barcelona with enhanced analytical capabilities and strategic perspectives that distinguished her from domestic-focused business students competing for premier corporate positions.
Her research on European supply chain optimization practices had generated recognition from faculty members and industry professionals who recognized the practical value of her comparative analysis for North American companies seeking competitive advantages through operational excellence. The senior thesis that Victoria developed based on her Barcelona research addressed critical gaps in North American logistics operations, while proposing specific implementation strategies that could improve efficiency and reduce costs for companies willing to adopt proven European methodologies. Her thesis advisor, Professor Michael Torres, considered the work to be graduate-level research that demonstrated sophisticated understanding of international business dynamics and strategic implementation challenges. Victoria's academic performance during her senior year maintained the perfect standards she had established throughout her undergraduate career, while incorporating advanced analytical methods and strategic frameworks that reflected her expanded international perspective. Her coursework included senior-level seminars in executive leadership, strategic planning, and organizational transformation that prepared her for immediate assumption of management responsibilities upon graduation. The combination of Victoria's exceptional academic record, practical consulting experience, and international business exposure positioned her as an ideal candidate for accelerated management training programs offered by major corporations throughout the Southwest region. Multiple companies had expressed interest in recruiting Victoria based on recommendations from faculty members and industry professionals who had observed her capabilities during various collaborative projects and consulting engagements. Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, where Victoria had participated in strategic planning initiatives during her sophomore year, extended an offer for their premier executive development program, which represented the company's most selective recruitment initiative for high-potential graduates. The program provided intensive training in operations management, strategic planning, and organizational leadership, while offering rapid advancement opportunities for participants who demonstrated exceptional performance. The Executive Development Program required participants to complete rotational assignments across multiple business functions, while receiving mentorship from senior executives and exposure to comprehensive business operations. Successful completion of the program typically led to promotion to middle management positions within 2 years, with potential for continued advancement to senior leadership roles based on demonstrated capabilities and strategic contribution. Robert Castellanos, Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions Regional Operations Director, personally recruited Victoria for the Executive Development Program based on his observations of her analytical capabilities and strategic thinking during previous collaborative projects. He recognized that Victoria possessed exceptional potential for rapid advancement within the organization while bringing perspectives and capabilities that could enhance the company's competitive positioning. During Victoria's final recruitment interview with Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, Robert Castellanos emphasized the company's commitment to merit-based advancement and performance-driven career development. He explained that the organization valued analytical excellence, strategic thinking, and operational innovation above traditional credentials or background factors that might influence advancement decisions at other companies. Victoria accepted the offer from Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions with enthusiasm, recognizing the opportunity to apply her educational preparation and practical experience within a dynamic organizational environment that would challenge her capabilities while providing platforms for continued professional development. The position represented validation of her strategic approach to career preparation while offering immediate access to senior-level responsibilities and decision-making process. The Executive Development Program commenced immediately following Victoria's graduation, which she attended without family representation despite achieving magna cum laude recognition and receiving multiple academic honors that acknowledged her exceptional undergraduate achievement. The absence of family support during this celebratory milestone reinforced Victoria's understanding that her success represented individual accomplishment rather than shared family achievement. Victoria's initial assignment within the Executive Development Program involved working with the operations analysis team to identify efficiency improvement opportunities across Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' regional distribution network. The assignment required comprehensive evaluation of facility utilization, workforce productivity, and technology integration strategies that could enhance operational effectiveness while reducing costs and improving customer satisfaction. The operations analysis project provided Victoria with detailed insight into large-scale logistics management while allowing her to apply analytical methods and optimization strategies that she had developed through academic study and consulting experience. Her systematic approach to identifying inefficiencies and developing implementation strategies impressed senior management while generating measurable improvements in operational performance. Victoria's analysis revealed that Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions could increase processing capacity by approximately 25% through strategic facility modifications, enhanced technology systems, and improved workforce coordination protocol. Her recommendations included specific implementation timelines, resource requirements, and financial projections that provided management with comprehensive blueprints for operational enhancement initiatives. The successful completion of Victoria's operations analysis project led to her assignment to increasingly complex strategic initiatives that tested her leadership capabilities while providing exposure to executive decision-making processes and corporate strategy development. Her subsequent projects included market expansion analysis, competitive positioning assessments, and organizational restructuring initiatives that influenced company-wide strategic. Victoria's exceptional performance during her first year in the Executive Development Program resulted in acceleration through the standard program timeline, with promotion to operations manager after 18 months, rather than the typical 24-month progression. The accelerated advancement reflected management's recognition of her analytical capabilities and leadership potential, while acknowledging her contributions to operational improvements that had generated substantial cost savings and efficiency gains. The operations manager position provided Victoria with direct responsibility for managing multiple distribution facilities, while supervising approximately 150 employees across various operational functions. The role required strategic planning, budget management, performance optimization, and problem-solving capabilities that tested her readiness for senior-level business responsibility. Victoria's approach to operations management emphasized systematic analysis, collaborative problem-solving, and continuous improvement methodologies that enhanced both employee satisfaction and operational effectiveness. Her management style reflected lessons learned from her early experiences with authoritarian leadership, while incorporating best practices observed during her international studies and consulting engagement. The distribution facilities under Victoria's management consistently achieved performance metrics that exceeded company standards, while maintaining high employee retention rates and customer satisfaction scores. Her success demonstrated that analytical excellence and strategic thinking could be combined with effective interpersonal leadership to create sustainable operational improvement. Victoria's achievements as operations manager generated recognition throughout Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, while establishing her reputation as a rising executive capable of managing complex business operations while driving measurable performance improvement. Senior management began involving her in strategic planning sessions and corporate development initiatives that provided preparation for advancement to director-level positions. During her third year with Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, Victoria was promoted to Regional Operations Director with responsibility for overseeing logistics operations across Arizona, New Mexico, and southern Colorado. The promotion represented exceptional career advancement for someone with her limited professional experience, while acknowledging her demonstrated capabilities and strategic contributions to organizational success. The Regional Operations Director position required Victoria to manage multiple facility operations, while coordinating with corporate headquarters on strategic planning, market development, and operational optimization initiatives. The role provided comprehensive exposure to senior-level business management, while positioning her for continued advancement within the organization's executive hierarchy. Victoria's management of the expanded regional territory resulted in consistent performance improvements that established new company benchmarks for operational efficiency, customer satisfaction, and profitability margin. Her strategic initiatives included technology integration projects, workforce development programs, and facility optimization efforts that enhanced competitive positioning while generating substantial cost saving. The success of Victoria's regional operations management attracted attention from other major logistics companies throughout the Southwest region, resulting in multiple recruitment opportunities that reflected her growing reputation as an exceptional executive capable of driving operational excellence and strategic transformation. However, Victoria remained committed to Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, while pursuing opportunities for continued advancement within the organization. Victoria's professional achievements during her first 5 years following graduation demonstrated the validity of her strategic approach to career development, while validating her decision to pursue ambitious educational and professional goals, despite family opposition and financial constraints. Her rapid advancement through increasingly responsible positions reflected merit-based recognition of her capabilities, rather than advantages derived from family connections or privileged background. The transformation from rejected teenager to accomplished business executive represented systematic validation of Victoria's belief that individual potential could overcome initial circumstances through education, hard work, and strategic plan. Her success provided concrete evidence that family skepticism about her aspirations had reflected limited perspective rather than accurate assessment of opportunities available to motivated individuals willing to invest in their professional development. Victoria's achievements also established the foundation for the eventual confrontation with Robert Hernandez that would demonstrate the catastrophic nature of his earlier judgment about her potential and character. The professional credibility and executive authority that Victoria had earned through sustained excellence would provide the platform for delivering the ultimate vindication of her rejected aspiration. As Victoria completed her 5th year with Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, she had established herself as one of the company's most accomplished regional executives, while building expertise and credentials that positioned her for advancement to senior corporate leadership role. Her continued success represented ongoing preparation for the moment when she would have the opportunity to demonstrate to Robert Hernandez the true cost of his decision to bet against her potential. The patient development of professional capabilities and organizational authority was creating the conditions for ultimate accountability that would validate every sacrifice Victoria had made in pursuit of excellence, despite family rejection and societal skepticism about her unconventional path to executive achievement. Victoria Martinez's exceptional performance as Regional Operations Director had established her reputation throughout the logistics industry as an executive capable of transforming operational efficiency while driving sustainable profitability improvement. Her management of Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, multi-state territory had generated benchmark results that attracted attention from corporate headquarters and industry analysts, who recognized her strategic contributions to organizational success. The comprehensive operational improvements that Victoria had implemented across her regional territory resulted in a 38% increase in processing efficiency alongside significant reductions in operational costs and customer service complaints. These measurable achievements positioned her for consideration for senior corporate leadership roles that would expand her influence beyond regional operations to strategic planning and organizational development initiatives. Corporate leadership at Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions recognized that Victoria's analytical capabilities and implementation expertise represented valuable assets for addressing industry-wide challenges that were reshaping the logistics sector. Technological advancement, environmental regulations, and evolving customer expectations required strategic responses that demanded innovative thinking and operational excellence of the type that Victoria had consistently demonstrated throughout her career advancement. Chief Executive Officer Margaret Stevens personally recruited Victoria for promotion to Vice President of Strategic Operations, a newly created position that would provide comprehensive oversight of operational optimization initiatives across all company territories, while contributing to long-term strategic planning and market development efforts. The promotion represented unprecedented career advancement for someone with Victoria's professional experience, while acknowledging her exceptional contributions to organizational performance. The Vice President of Strategic Operations role required Victoria to develop corporate-wide operational standards, coordinate efficiency improvement initiatives across multiple regions, and provide strategic guidance to executive leadership regarding market opportunities and competitive positioning. The position combined operational management responsibilities with strategic planning functions that would prepare her for potential advancement to senior executive leadership role. Victoria accepted the promotion with comprehensive understanding of the challenges and opportunities that the position represented. The role would test her ability to implement systematic improvements across diverse operational environments, while building consensus among regional managers who might resist changes to established procedures and performance standards. Victoria's initial priorities as Vice President of Strategic Operations focused on conducting comprehensive assessments of operational performance across all company territories, while identifying opportunities for standardization and improvement
that could enhance overall organizational effectiveness. Her systematic approach to evaluation emphasized quantitative analysis, combined with qualitative insights from facility managers and operational staff. The assessment process revealed significant variations in operational efficiency and performance standards across different regional territories, suggesting opportunities for substantial improvement through implementation of best practices and standardized procedure. Victoria's analysis identified specific areas where targeted interventions could generate measurable improvements in productivity, cost management, and customer satisfaction metric. Victoria's strategic implementation plan emphasized gradual introduction of standardized procedures, combined with comprehensive training programs and performance monitoring systems that would ensure sustainable adoption of improved operational methods. Her approach reflected lessons learned from her international studies regarding change management and organizational development that facilitated successful transformation initiatives. The implementation of Victoria's strategic operational improvements generated immediate positive results across all company territories, with average efficiency gains of 22% and corresponding improvements and profitability margins that exceeded corporate financial projections. The success of her initiatives validated her analytical methods while demonstrating her capability to manage complex organizational change processes. Victoria's achievements as Vice President of Strategic Operations attracted recognition from industry organizations and business publications that acknowledged her contributions to operational excellence and strategic innovation within the logistics sector. Her professional reputation extended beyond Southwestern supply chain solutions to encompass recognition as a thought leader in supply chain optimization and organizational development. The Industry Logistics Association invited Victoria to serve as keynote speaker at their annual conference, where she presented her research on operational efficiency improvement and strategic transformation methodology. Her presentation generated considerable interest from industry executives who recognized the practical applicability of her analytical approaches and implementation strategy. Victoria's conference presentation led to consulting opportunities with other logistics companies that sought her expertise in addressing operational challenges and competitive positioning issues. These engagements provided additional professional recognition while enhancing her understanding of industry-wide trends and strategic requirements that would inform her continued career advancement. During her second year as Vice President of Strategic Operations, Victoria's initiated comprehensive market expansion analysis that examined opportunities for Southwestern supply chain solutions to extend its service territory and client base through strategic acquisitions and organic growth initiatives. The analysis required extensive research regarding competitive dynamics, regulatory requirements, and operational capabilities necessary for successful market expansion. Victoria's market expansion research identified several mid-sized logistics companies that represented potential acquisition targets, including organizations that possessed valuable client relationships and operational assets, but lacked the strategic capabilities and financial resources necessary for continued competitive success. Her analysis provided detailed evaluations of acquisition opportunities alongside implementation strategies for integrating acquired operations with existing company infrastructure. Phoenix Metro Logistics emerged as one of the most attractive acquisition candidates identified through Victoria's research, primarily due to its established client relationships and strategic geographic positioning that would complement Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' existing service territory. However, Victoria's analysis also revealed significant operational deficiencies and management limitations that would require comprehensive restructuring following any potential acquisition. The detailed assessment of Phoenix Metro Logistics provided Victoria with comprehensive understanding of the company's operational challenges and strategic limitations, while confirming her earlier academic analysis regarding the organization's competitive vulnerability. The research demonstrated that Phoenix Metro Logistics was experiencing declining profitabilities and market share due to inadequate operational efficiencies and strategic planning capabilities. Victoria's acquisition analysis recommended that Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions pursue acquisition. Phoenix Metro Logistics contingent upon implementation of comprehensive operational improvements and management restructuring that would address existing deficiencies while integrating the acquired company with established performance standards and strategic objectives. Corporate leadership at Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions approved Victoria's recommendation to pursue acquisition discussions with Phoenix Metro Logistics, recognizing the strategic value of the proposed transaction while acknowledging the operational challenges that would require careful management during the integration process. Victoria was assigned to lead the due diligence evaluation and integration planning efforts that would determine the feasibility in terms of the potential acquisition. The due diligence process required Victoria to conduct comprehensive evaluations of Phoenix Metro Logistics' operational performance, financial condition, and strategic positioning, while developing detailed plans for addressing identified deficiencies through systematic improvement initiative. Her analysis confirmed the accuracy of her earlier assessments, while revealing additional challenges that would require strategic intervention. Victoria's due diligence evaluation identified specific operational inefficiencies, management deficiencies, and strategic limitations that were undermining Phoenix Metro Logistics' competitive position and financial performance. Her findings provided the foundation for acquisition negotiations, while establishing requirements for post-acquisition restructuring and improvement initiatives. The acquisition negotiations proceeded successfully, with Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions agreeing to purchase Phoenix Metro Logistics contingent upon Victoria's oversight of the integration process and implementation of comprehensive operational improvement. The transaction represented a significant strategic opportunity while providing Victoria with expanded responsibilities and recognition for her analytical expertise and strategic planning capabilities. Victoria's appointment as Director of Acquisition Integration provided her with comprehensive authority to restructure Phoenix Metro Logistics operations while implementing performance standards and management practices that would align the acquired company with Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' strategic objectives and operational excellence requirements. The integration process required Victoria to evaluate existing management personnel while making personnel decisions that would ensure successful implementation of improved operational procedures and performance standards. Her comprehensive assessment of Phoenix Metro Logistics' management team revealed significant deficiencies in strategic thinking, operational expertise, and leadership capabilities that necessitated substantial personnel changes. Robert Hernandez, performance evaluation as shift supervisor at Phoenix Metro Logistics, revealed operational management capabilities that failed to meet the performance standards required for continued employment within the integrated organization. Victoria's assessment identified specific deficiencies in efficiency optimization, staff development, and strategic implementation that rendered his position redundant within the restructured operational framework. The irony of Victoria's professional authority over Robert's employment status represented the culmination of 20 years of strategic career development that had transformed her from rejected teenager to accomplished executive with comprehensive authority over business operations and personnel decisions. Her position provided the platform for demonstrating the ultimate consequences of Robert's earlier judgment regarding her potential and character. Victoria's systematic evaluation of Phoenix Metro Logistics personnel and operations established the foundation for the confrontation that validate every sacrifice she had made in pursuit of professional excellence, despite family rejection and societal skepticism about her unconventional path to executive achievement. The patient development of expertise and organizational authority had created the conditions for ultimate accountability that would demonstrate the true cost of underestimating her capabilities and potential. Victoria Martinez approached the Phoenix Metro logistics, acquisition, integration with the same systematic methodology that had characterized her professional advancement throughout her career at Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions. The comprehensive transformation of the acquired company required detailed evaluation of existing operations, assessment of personnel capability, and implementation of performance standards that would align Phoenix Metro Logistics with the strategic objectives and operational excellence requirements of its new parent organization. The integration process commenced with Victoria establishing temporary headquarters at Phoenix Metro Logistics' primary distribution facility, where she could conduct direct observations of operational procedures while maintaining immediate access to management personnel and frontline workers who would be affected by the restructuring initiative. This approach reflected her understanding that successful organizational transformation required comprehensive insight into existing capabilities and limitations before implementing systematic improvement. Victoria's initial assessment revealed that Phoenix Metro Logistics operated according to outdated management practices and inefficient operational procedures that had contributed to the company's declining competitive position and financial performance. The facility infrastructure remained adequate for continued operations, but the organizational systems and management capabilities required substantial enhancement to meet contemporary industry standards and customer expectations. The operational inefficiencies that Victoria documented during her assessment confirmed the accuracy of her earlier academic analysis, while revealing additional problems that had developed during the intervening years since her undergraduate research. The company's market position had deteriorated further due to management's failure to adapt to changing industry dynamics and technological advancement that had transformed logistics operations throughout the region. Victoria's systematic evaluation of Phoenix Metro Logistics' management structure identified significant deficiencies in strategic planning, operational oversight, and performance management that necessitated comprehensive personnel restructuring. The existing management team lacked the analytical capabilities and strategic thinking required for competitive success within the contemporary logistics industry, rendering most supervisory positions inappropriate for retention within the integrated organization. The assessment process required Victoria to conduct individual performance evaluations for all management personnel while documenting specific capabilities and limitations that would inform personnel decisions during the integration process. These evaluations emphasized objective measurement of operational knowledge, leadership, effectiveness, and strategic thinking capabilities, rather than subjective assessments based on tenure or personal relationships. Robert Hernandez's performance evaluation represented one of numerous supervisory assessments that Victoria conducted during the comprehensive management review process. Her evaluation approach maintained strict professional objectivity while applying consistent criteria that measured each supervisor's capabilities against established performance standards and strategic requirements for continued employment within the restructured organization. Victoria scheduled Robert's performance evaluation for a Wednesday afternoon meeting in the company's primary conference room, following the same procedural format that she had established for all supervisory assessments. The meeting represented a routine component of the integration process rather than a special circumstance, reflecting Victoria's commitment to maintaining professional standards throughout the personnel evaluation procedure. Robert arrived for his scheduled evaluation meeting without advance knowledge of Victoria's identity or her connection to Phoenix Metro Logistics' acquisition by Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions. The company's communication regarding the integration process had focused on operational changes and performance expectations rather than detailed information about the management team responsible for implementing the transformation initiative. Victoria entered the conference room with comprehensive documentation regarding Robert's Robert's employment history, performance metrics, and operational responsibilities during his tenure as shift supervisor at Phoenix Metro Logistics. Her preparation included detailed analysis of his management effectiveness, productivity statistics for his operational area, and assessment of his contributions to overall company performance during the preceding 5 years.
The performance evaluation commenced with Victoria introducing herself as Director of Acquisition Integration for Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, while explaining the purpose and procedures for the assessment meeting. Her professional demeanor reflected the serious nature of the evaluation process, while maintaining the objective standards that she had established for all personnel assessments during the integration project. Robert's initial reaction to Victoria's introduction revealed his lack of recognition regarding her identity, despite her use of her full name and professional title. The 20-year interval since their last interaction, combined with her professional presentation and corporate context, prevented immediate identification of the young woman he had expelled from his household 2 decades earlier. Victoria proceeded with the standard evaluation procedures while maintaining complete professional composure despite the personal significance of this particular assessment meeting. Her approach emphasized objective analysis of Robert's professional capabilities, while avoiding any reference to their previous relationship or the circumstances that had led to their current professional encounter. The evaluation process revealed that Robert's performance as shift supervisor reflected adequate but unremarkable capabilities that failed to meet the enhanced standards required for continued employment within Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' operational framework. His management approach emphasized routine compliance with established procedures, rather than the innovative thinking and strategic implementation required for competitive success in the contemporary logistics environment. Victoria's assessment documented specific areas where Robert's supervisory performance failed to meet established benchmarks for operational efficiency, staff development, and strategic contribution to organizational objectives. His inability to identify improvement opportunities or implement efficiency enhancements represented fundamental limitations that rendered his position incompatible with the company's strategic requirements following the acquisition. The performance data that Victoria reviewed during the evaluation confirmed that Robert's operational area consistently underperformed relative to industry standards and company objectives, while generating higher than average employee turnover rates and customer service complaints. These objective measures provided clear justification for personnel decisions based on professional competency rather than personal consideration. Robert's responses to Victoria's evaluation questions revealed limited understanding of contemporary logistics management practices and strategic thinking requirements that had become essential for supervisory success within competitive business environments. His approach to problem-solving emphasized traditional methods rather than the analytical innovation required for operational optimization and continuous improvement initiative. Victoria's professional assessment identified Robert as representative of the management limitations that had contributed to Phoenix Metro Logistics' competitive decline and financial deterioration. His supervisory approach reflected outdated practices that had become inappropriate for organizations seeking to achieve operational excellence and strategic advancement within the evolving logistics industry. The evaluation process also revealed Robert's resistance to change and skepticism regarding operational improvements that challenged established procedures and traditional management approaches. His attitude reflected the institutional barriers to innovation that Victoria had encountered throughout her career, while demonstrating the limited perspective that had influenced his earlier dismissal of her educational and professional aspirations. Victoria's comprehensive assessment of Robert's professional capabilities provided objective documentation of performance deficiencies that justified termination of his employment based on legitimate business requirements, rather than personal consideration. The evaluation established clear professional rationale for personnel decisions that reflected strategic necessity and operational standards rather than individual vindication or personal satisfaction. The integration assessment process extended beyond individual performance evaluations to encompass comprehensive analysis of operational procedures, technology systems, organizational culture that required modification to achieve successful integration with Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' established practices and performance standards. Victoria's systematic approach addressed multiple dimensions of organizational transformation while maintaining focus on strategic objectives and measurable outcomes. Victoria's recommendation recommendations for Phoenix Metro Logistics operational restructuring included elimination of supervisory positions that failed to meet performance standards alongside implementation of enhanced management practices that would support improved efficiency and strategic effectiveness. The personnel recommendations reflected objective analysis of capabilities and requirements, rather than subjective preferences or personal relationships. The restructuring plan that Victoria developed for Phoenix Metro Logistics encompassed comprehensive changes to management structure, operational procedures, and performance standards that would align the acquired company with Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' strategic objectives and competitive requirements. The transformation initiative represented substantial organizational change that would affect numerous employees, while establishing foundation for improved performance and market position. Victoria's professional management of the integration process demonstrated her capability to implement complex organizational transformations while maintaining objective standards and strategic focus that prioritized business requirements over personal consideration. Her approach reflected the leadership capabilities and strategic thinking that had enabled her exceptional career advancement despite initial circumstances and family skepticism regarding her potential. The comprehensive assessment of Phoenix Metro Logistics established the foundation for personnel decisions that would transform the company's management structure, while addressing operational deficiencies that had undermined competitive performance. Victoria's systematic evaluation process provided objective justification for difficult decisions that would affect numerous employees, while serving strategic necessity and organizational improvement requirement. Robert's performance evaluation represented one component of the broader transformation initiative that would reshape Phoenix Metro Logistics according to contemporary industry standards and competitive requirements. The assessment process reflected Victoria's professional expertise and objective judgment rather than personal vindication, demonstrating her commitment to strategic excellence and organizational effectiveness above individual consideration. Victoria Martinez concluded her systematic evaluation of Robert Hernandez's professional performance with comprehensive documentation that established clear justification for termination based on objective assessment of his supervisory capabilities and operational effectiveness. The evaluation process had revealed fundamental deficiencies in strategic thinking, management innovation, and performance optimization that rendered his position incompatible with Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' enhanced standards for operational excellence. The personnel decision regarding Robert's employment status represented one component of the broader restructuring initiative that would transform Phoenix Metro Logistics' management structure, while addressing systemic operational deficiencies that had undermined the company's competitive position. Victoria's professional responsibility required her to communicate termination decisions according to established protocols that maintained organizational standards, while respecting individual dignity during difficult circumstances. Victoria scheduled the termination meeting for the following Friday afternoon, allowing sufficient time for preparation of comprehensive documentation and coordination with human resources personnel who would assist with final employment procedure. The timing provided Robert with advance notice of the meeting while enabling Victoria to complete her evaluation of other supervisory personnel before addressing the most personally significant personnel decision of the integration. The intervening days between the evaluation meeting and the scheduled termination conference provided Victoria with opportunities for reflection regarding the professional and personal dimensions of the decision she would communicate to Robert. The objective assessment of his professional capabilities had established clear business justification for termination, but the personal history between them created additional complexity that required careful consideration of appropriate professional conduct. Victoria's approach to the termination meeting emphasized maintenance of professional standards and objective reasoning while avoiding any reference to personal circumstances that were irrelevant to the business decision. Her preparation included comprehensive review of employment law requirements, company policies regarding termination procedures, and best practices for communicating difficult personnel decisions with appropriate sensitivity and respect. The transformation of Phoenix Metro Logistics required elimination of multiple supervisory positions that failed to meet enhanced performance standards, making Robert's termination representative of broader organizational restructuring rather than individual targeting based on personal consideration. Victoria's systematic approach to personnel decisions decisions reflected strategic necessity and operational requirements rather than vindictive intent or personal satisfaction. Victoria arrived at Phoenix Metro Logistics facility early on Friday morning to complete final preparations for the termination meetings scheduled throughout the afternoon. Her professional responsibilities included coordination with human resources representatives, review of severance packages, and preparation of transition plans for operational areas affected by supervisory changes during the restructuring process. The comprehensive nature of the organizational transformation required careful scheduling of termination meetings to minimize operational disruption while ensuring appropriate privacy and professional conduct for each affected employee. Victoria arrived at Phoenix Metro Logistics facility early on Friday morning to complete final preparations for the termination meetings scheduled throughout the afternoon. Robert arrived for his scheduled meeting at precisely 2 o'clock in the afternoon, entering the conference room where Victoria waited with Human Resources Representative Jennifer Morrison and comprehensive documentation regarding his employment termination. The formal setting reflected the serious nature of the business decision while providing appropriate witnesses and procedural compliance with company policy. Victoria commenced the meeting with standard introduction of participants and explanation of the meeting's purpose, maintaining professional demeanor while preparing to deliver information that would significantly affect Robert's employment status and financial security. Her approach emphasized objective communication of business decisions based on performance assessment and strategic requirement. The termination notification followed established protocols that included explanation of performance deficiencies, discussion of severance arrangements, and coordination of final employment procedures according to company policies and legal requirements. Victoria communication emphasized business rationale while avoiding personal commentary or references to circumstances unrelated to professional performance assessment. Robert's initial reaction to the termination notification reflected surprise and confusion regarding the business justification for ending his employment after 12 years of adequate service performance. His questions focused on specific performance concerns and opportunities for improvement rather than recognition of Victoria's identity or understanding of the broader strategic context surrounding Phoenix Metro Logistics acquisition and restructuring. Victoria's responses to Robert's questions maintained professional focus on documented performance deficiencies while explaining how his supervisory approach failed to meet enhanced standards required for continued employment within the integrated organization. Her communication emphasized objective assessment criteria and strategic requirements rather than personal evaluation or subjective judgment regarding his capability. The discussion of severance arrangements and transition procedures proceeded according to standard protocols, while Robert continued to express confusion regarding the sudden change in his employment status after years of satisfactory performance reviews from previous management. His reaction reflected limited understanding of the strategic transformation occurring within Phoenix Metro Logistics following its acquisition by a more competitive organization. Victoria's explanation of the integration process and enhanced performance standards provided context for personnel decisions while maintaining focus on business requirements and strategic objectives. Her communication avoided detailed discussion of Robert's specific deficiencies while emphasizing the systematic nature of the restructuring initiative and the objective criteria applied to all supervisory assessment. The formal termination procedures continued with discussion of final paycheck arrangements, benefit continuation options, and return of company property according to established policy. Victoria's management of these procedural details reflected professional competence while maintaining appropriate sensitivity to the personal impact of employment termination on Robert's financial circumstances and career prospects. As the meeting progressed toward conclusion, Robert's attention became increasingly focused on Victoria's professional demeanor and communication style, which began to trigger recognition of familiar patterns despite the dramatic transformation in her appearance and circumstance. The contrast between her executive authority and his recollection of a rejected teenager created cognitive dissonance that required resolution through careful examination of available evidence. Victoria's concluding remarks regarding the termination process included standard expressions of appreciation for Robert's service contributions while wishing him success in future employment opportunities. Her professional courtesy reflected appropriate business conduct rather than personal sentiment, maintaining the objective standards that had characterized her management of the entire integration process. Robert's delayed recognition of Victoria's identity occurred during the final moments of the termination meeting as accumulated evidence overcame his initial inability to reconcile her current executive status with his recollection of the young woman he had expelled from his household 20 years earlier. The realization created visible shock and confusion that disrupted his ability to process the immediate circumstances surrounding his employment termination. Victoria observed Robert's moment of recognition with professional composure while maintaining focus on completing the termination procedures according to established protocol. Her response to his evident shock avoided acknowledgement of their personal history while continuing to emphasize business context and procedural requirements for concluding his employment relationship with Phoenix Metro Logistics. Robert's attempt to address their personal relationship and his growing understanding of the ironic circumstances surrounding his termination met with Victoria's professional redirection toward completion of employment procedures and coordination of transition arrangement. Her approach maintained appropriate boundaries between personal history and business responsibilities, while avoiding any suggestion that personal considerations had influenced professional decision-making. The human resources representative's presence during the meeting provided appropriate witness to professional conduct while ensuring compliance with company policies regarding termination procedures and employee treatment. Victoria's management of the situation reflected her understanding of legal requirements and organizational standards that governed personnel decisions and termination communication. Robert's emotional reaction to the recognition of Victoria's identity and authority over his employment status created temporary disruption to the procedural conclusion of the termination meeting. His expression of regret, confusion, and dawning understanding of the transformation that had occurred during their 20-year separation reflected the magnitude of his misjudgment regarding her potential and character. Victoria's response to Robert's emotional reaction maintained professional boundaries while acknowledging the completion of business procedures and transition arrangements required for his departure from Phoenix Metro Logistics. Her approach avoided extended discussion of personal circumstances while focusing on immediate requirements for concluding the employment relationship according to company policy. The termination meeting concluded with Robert's acceptance of severance documentation and coordination of final employment procedures, despite his evident shock regarding Victoria's identity and professional authority. His departure from the conference room reflected the completion of a personnel decision based on objective business requirements, while demonstrating the ultimate consequences of his earlier judgment regarding her capabilities and potential. Victoria's professional management of the termination meeting represented the culmination of 20 years of strategic career development that had transformed her from rejected teenager to accomplished executive with comprehensive authority over business operations and personnel decisions. The encounter validated every sacrifice she had made in pursuit of professional excellence, while demonstrating the cost of underestimating individual potential based on limited perspective and narrow assumptions. The systematic evaluation and termination process reflected Victoria's commitment to objective professional standards while providing appropriate conclusion to the personal chapter that had begun with Robert's rejection of her educational aspirations. Her approach emphasized business competence and strategic thinking above personal vindication, demonstrating the leadership capabilities that had enabled her exceptional career advancement despite initial circumstances and family skepticism. Victoria Martinez remained in the Phoenix Metro Logistics conference room for several minutes after Robert Hernandez's departure, processing the completion of a personal journey that had shaped every professional decision she had made throughout the preceding 20 years. The termination meeting had proceeded according to established business protocols while delivering the ultimate validation of her strategic approach to career development, despite family rejection and societal skepticism.
criticism regarding her unconventional path to executive achievement. Evaluation and termination process had demonstrated that objective professional standards could provide appropriate resolution to personal circumstances that began with Robert's failure to recognize her potential and his subsequent decision to prioritize his limited perspective over her education aspirations. Victoria's authority over Robert's employment status represented the natural consequence of sustained excellence and strategic thinking, rather than vindictive pursuit of personal status. The human resources representative Jennifer Morrison departed to complete final employment procedures, while Victoria reviewed the comprehensive documentation that had established objective justification for Robert's termination based on performance deficiencies and strategic requirements. The business rationale for personnel decisions reflected operational necessity rather than personal consideration, maintaining the professional standards that had characterized her management throughout the integration process. Victoria's reflection on the termination meeting emphasized the professional competence and strategic thinking that had enabled her to manage complex organizational transformation while maintaining appropriate boundaries between personal history and business responsibility. Her approach had demonstrated the leadership capabilities that justified her rapid career advancement, while validating the educational investments and professional development that Robert had once dismissed as unrealistic ambition. The completion of Robert's termination represented one component of the broader Phoenix Metro Logistics restructuring initiative that would transform the company's operational effectiveness while addressing systemic deficiencies that had undermined competitive performance. Victoria's comprehensive management of the integration process reflected her understanding of organizational transformation requirements and her capability to implement strategic change within complex business environments. Victoria's professional handling of the personal dimension of Robert's termination demonstrated emotional maturity and strategic thinking that distinguished successful executives from individuals who allowed personal consideration to compromise business judgment. Her ability to maintain objective standards while addressing circumstances that carried significant personal meaning reflected the psychological development that had accompanied her career advancement throughout the preceding 2 decades. The transformation of Phoenix Metro Logistics continued with implementation of enhanced operational procedures and performance standards that would align the acquired company with Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' strategic objectives and competitive requirements. Victoria's oversight of the integration process ensured systematic improvement while maintaining focus on measurable outcomes and sustainable organizational development. The personnel restructuring that accompanied Phoenix Metro Logistics' transformation affected multiple employees beyond Robert Hernandez, reflecting the comprehensive nature of organizational change required to address operational deficiencies and strategic limitations that had accumulated during years of inadequate management. Victoria's approach to workforce development emphasized training and advancement opportunities for employees who demonstrated capability and commitment to enhanced performance standards. Victoria's leadership during the integration process established new benchmarks for operational efficiencies and strategic effectiveness that would position Phoenix Metro Logistics for improved competitive performance within the regional logistics market. The systematic improvements that she implemented addressed technology deficiencies, procedural inefficiencies, and management limitations that had prevented the company from achieving its potential market position and financial performance. The successful transformation of Phoenix Metro Logistics generated recognition throughout Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions for Victoria's exceptional capability to manage complex organizational change while delivering measurable improvement in operational effectiveness and strategic position. Her achievements during the integration process reinforced her reputation as an executive capable of addressing challenging business situations while maintaining professional standards and strategic focus. Corporate leadership at Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions acknowledged Victoria's exceptional performance during the Phoenix Metro Logistics integration through formal recognition and consideration for additional advancement opportunities that would expand her influence within the organization's strategic planning and corporate development initiative. Her demonstrated capability to transform underperforming operations while managing sensitive personnel decisions established her credentials for senior executive leadership roles. Victoria's success with the integration project also attracted attention from industry organizations and executive search firms that recognized her proven ability to drive organizational transformation while maintaining operational excellence. Strategic effective. The professional recognition reflected her emergence as a thought leader in logistics management and organizational development within the regional business community. The Phoenix Metro Logistics transformation provided Victoria with comprehensive experience in acquisition and organizational restructuring that enhanced her qualifications for advancement to senior corporate leadership positions, requiring strategic thinking and implementations. Her management of the complex project demonstrated readiness for expanded responsibilities within Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions executive hierarchy. Victoria's personal reflection on achieving the vindication that had motivated her professional development throughout the preceding 20 years revealed complex emotions regarding the completion of goals that had sustained her through numerous challenges and setbacks. The satisfaction of demonstrating Robert's misjudgment regarding her potential was accompanied by recognition that her achievements represented comprehensive validation of strategic thinking and sustained effort rather than simple personal revenge. The professional competence and executive authority that Victoria had developed through systematic career advancement provided platforms for continued impact within the logistics industry while creating opportunities to influence organizational development and strategic planning beyond immediate operational responsibility. Her expertise in transformation management and performance optimization positioned her for consulting opportunities and thought leadership roles that could extend her influence throughout the regional business community. Victoria's approach to the personal dimension of her professional success emphasized forward-looking strategic thinking rather than extended focus on past circumstances that had motivated her initial career development. Her recognition that Robert's termination represented appropriate business decision based on objective performance assessment reflected emotional maturity and professional perspective that distinguished her leadership capabilities from reactive responses to personal grievances. The completion of the Phoenix Metro Logistics integration project established Victoria as a proven executive capable of managing complex organizational transformation while delivering measurable improvements in operational effectiveness. Her comprehensive approach to business challenges reflected the analytical capabilities and strategic thinking that had enabled her exceptional career advancement despite initial circumstances and family skepticism regarding her potential. Victoria's professional journey from rejected teenager to accomplished executive demonstrated that individual determination and strategic thinking could overcome systematic barriers and limited perspective that might otherwise restrict career advancement and personal achievement. Her success validated the importance of educational investment and strategic planning while providing evidence that merit-based advancement remained possible within competitive business environments. The transformation of Victoria's relationship with Robert Hernandez from family rejection. Professional authority represented symbolic completion of personal development that had been motivated by his failure to recognize her potential and his subsequent decision to prioritize conventional thinking over innovative approaches to career advancement. The reversal of circumstances demonstrated the long-term consequences of investment decisions regarding human potential and educational. Victoria's management of the termination meeting and integration process reflected her understanding that professional success required emotional discipline and strategic thinking that transcended personal circumstances while maintaining focus on organizational objective and performance standards. Her approach demonstrated leadership capabilities that justified continued advancement within Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' executive hierarchy while establishing credentials for future opportunities within the broader business community. The vindication that Victoria achieved through professional excellence and strategic thinking provided foundation for continued career advancement while demonstrating the value of persistent effort and educational investment despite initial opposition and skepticism from family members and social institutions.
Her achievements validated strategic approaches to career development that emphasized merit-based advancement and performance-driven recognition rather than conventional pathways that might limit individual potential. Victoria's reflection on the complete transformation of her circumstances, capabilities emphasized gratitude for the challenges that had motivated her exceptional performance, while recognizing that sustained success required continued focus on professional development and strategic contribution, rather than satisfaction with achieved vindication. Her perspective reflected emotional maturity and strategic thinking that would support continued advancement and expanded influence within the regional business community. Victoria Martinez approached the months following the Phoenix Metro Logistics integration with renewed clarity regarding her professional objectives and strategic priorities. The successful completion of the acquisition and organizational transformation had established her credentials as an executive capable of managing complex business challenges, while delivering measurable improvements in operational performance and competitive positioning. Her leadership during the integration process had generated recognition throughout Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions and the broader logistics industry. The termination of Robert Hernandez represented closure on personal circumstances that had motivated her initial career development, but Victoria recognized that sustained professional success required continuous focus on strategic contribution and organizational value creation, rather than satisfaction with achieved vindication. Her approach to career advancement emphasized forward-looking strategic thinking and performance-driven recognition that would support continued advancement within Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' executive hierarchy. Corporate leadership acknowledged Victoria's exceptional performance during the Phoenix Metro Logistics integration through promotion to Senior Vice President of Strategic Development, a position that provided comprehensive oversight of acquisition initiatives and organizational transformation projects throughout the company's expanding regional presence. The promotion reflected recognition of her proven capability to identify strategic opportunities while implementing complex organizational changes that delivered sustainable competitive advantages. The Senior Vice President role required Victoria to develop corporate-wide strategies for market expansion and operational optimization, while coordinating multiple acquisition and integration projects that would enhance Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' market position and service capability. The position combined strategic planning responsibilities with operational oversight functions that prepared her for potential advancement to executive leadership roles at the highest corporate levels. Victoria's initial priorities in the expanded role focused on identifying additional acquisition targets that could strengthen Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' competitive position, while providing platforms for implementing operational improvements and efficiency enhancements across the company's growing network of facilities and service territory. Her systematic approach to strategic planning emphasized comprehensive market analysis and rigorous evaluation of potential synergies and integration challenges. The strategic planning process that Victoria developed for evaluating acquisition opportunities incorporated lessons learned from Phoenix Metro Logistics integration, while establishing standardized criteria for assessing target companies and their potential contributions to overall corporate objectives. Her framework emphasized financial performance analysis, operational efficiency assessment, and strategic positioning evaluation that provided comprehensive foundation for investment decisions. Victoria's acquisition strategy identified several promising targets within adjacent geographic markets that possessed established client relationships and operational infrastructure, but lacked the strategic capabilities and financial resources necessary for continued competitive success. Her analysis provided detailed evaluation of acquisition opportunities alongside implementation strategies for integrating acquired operations with existing company infrastructure and performance standards. The first major acquisition that Victoria recommended and managed following her promotion involved Mountain States Logistics, a regional company that operated distribution facilities throughout Colorado and Utah while serving clients in retail, manufacturing, and e-commerce sectors. The acquisition represented significant strategic opportunity for expanding Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions service territory while providing access to established customer relationships and operational assets. Mountain States Logistics presented integration challenges that differed significantly from those encountered during the Phoenix Metro Logistics acquisition, requiring Victoria to adapt her management approach while maintaining focus on operational improvement and strategic alignment objectives. The company possessed more sophisticated management capabilities and technology systems, but faced competitive pressure and financial constraints that limited growth potential and market expansion opportunity. Victoria's integration strategy for Mountain States Logistics emphasized gradual implementation of enhanced operational procedures while preserving existing management capabilities and client relationships that represented valuable assets for the combined organization. Her approach reflected understanding that successful acquisition integration required careful balance between improvement initiatives and preservation of established competitive advantage. The Mountain States Logistics integration proceeded successfully under Victoria's oversight, resulting in improved operational efficiency and enhanced service capabilities that strengthened Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions' competitive position within the expanded regional market. The successful completion of the project reinforced Victoria's reputation as an executive capable of managing diverse acquisition challenges while delivering consistent results that justified strategic investment decisions. Victoria's success with multiple acquisition and integration projects generated recognition from industry organizations and business publications that acknowledged her contributions to strategic development and organizational transformation within the logistics sector. Her professional reputation extended beyond Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions to encompass recognition as a thought leader in acquisition strategy and operational excellence throughout the regional business community. The National Logistics Management Association invited Victoria to serve on their strategic planning committee, providing opportunities to influence industry standards and best practices while building professional relationships with executives from major logistics companies throughout the United States. Her participation in industry leadership roles enhanced her visibility within the broader business community while establishing credentials for potential advancement to senior executive positions. Victoria's involvement with the Strategic Planning Committee required her to contribute expertise regarding acquisition strategy and operational optimization, while participating in development of industry guidelines and professional standards that would influence logistics management practices across multiple market sectors. The committee work provided valuable exposure to strategic challenges facing the broader industry while enhancing her understanding of competitive dynamics and technological developments that would shape future business opportunities. The committee's research initiatives included comprehensive analysis of supply chain disruption risks and development of strategic recommendations for enhancing operational resilience and competitive flexibility within dynamic market environments. Victoria's contributions to these studies reflected her practical experience with organizational transformation while providing analytical frameworks that other industry leaders could adapt for their specific operational challenge. Victoria's thought leadership within the industry generated speaking opportunities at major logistics conferences and business forums, where she presented research findings and strategic insights regarding acquisition integration and operational optimization. Her presentations attracted attention from executive search firms and corporate leaders, who recognized her expertise and considered her for senior leadership opportunities within their organizations. The professional recognition that accompanied Victoria's industry involvement created opportunities for advancement beyond Southwestern Supply Chain Solutions, while establishing her credentials for executive leadership roles within major corporations throughout the logistics and supply chain management sector. Her proven track record of successful acquisition integration and operational improvement provided foundation for consideration for chief executive officer and senior vice president positions at companies seeking transformation leadership and strategic development expertise. During her third year as Senior Vice President of Strategic Development, Victoria received recruitment inquiries from multiple Fortune 500 companies that sought executives with proven capability to manage complex organizational transformation while delivering measurable improvements in operational performance and competitive positioning. The opportunities reflected recognition of her exceptional achievements, while providing platforms for expanded influence and strategic impact within the broader business community. Consolidated Freight Solutions, a major logistics company with operations throughout the Southwest and Mountain West region, approached Victoria regarding their need for a regional operations director who could oversee comprehensive transformation of their operational network while implementing strategic initiatives that would enhance competitive positioning and market expansion capability. The position represented significant advancement opportunity while providing platform for implementing strategic vision on larger scale than her current role permitted. The Consolidated Freight Solutions opportunity attracted Victoria's interest due to the company's substantial market presence and strategic commitment to operational excellence and innovation within the logistics sector. The Regional Operations Director position would provide authority over multiple state territories while requiring strategic leadership and transformation management capabilities that aligned perfectly with her professional expertise and career objectives. Victoria's decision to accept the position with Consolidated Freight Solutions reflected strategic thinking regarding career advancement and professional impact, rather than simple pursuit of increased compensation or organizational status. The opportunity provided platform for implementing her strategic vision while contributing to transformation of a major industry participant that could influence broader competitive dynamics and professional standards throughout the logistics sector. The transition to Consolidated Freight Solutions required Victoria to apply her proven methodologies within a larger and more complex organizational environment, while adapting her leadership approach to accommodate different corporate culture and strategic priorities. The challenge represented natural progression of her career development, while providing opportunities to test her capabilities within more demanding circumstances and expanded responsibility. Victoria's appointment as Regional Operations Director at Consolidated Freight Solutions generated recognition throughout the logistics industry for her exceptional career advancement and strategic contributions to organizational transformation. Senior executive at a major corporation demonstrated the potential for individual achievement through strategic thinking and sustained excellence, despite initial circumstances and societal skepticism regarding unconventional approaches to career development. The expansion of Victoria's professional influence and strategic impact represented continuation of the journey that began with Robert Hernandez's failure to recognize her potential and his subsequent decision to prioritize limited perspective over educational opportunity and ambitious career planning. Her achievements validated the importance of merit-based advancement and performance-driven recognition while demonstrating that sustained effort and strategic thinking could overcome systematic barriers and create exceptional opportunities for professional success. Up next, you've got two more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.